Well, welcome to part 2 of our Kashmir-a-thon.
Yay, Kashmir-a-thon. I feel like that should be a brand label or something.
I know, it sounds cool.
Kashmir-a-thon.
This is part 2. Part 3 is for Patreon only because we can't show it on YouTube.
Copyright.
So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, check it out. We react to the studio version and a cover.
There will be plenty of Kashmir-a-thon stuff.
By the way, music for busy people here. Mike.
By the way, you don't need to know enough. Of course.
Roll call. Dev.
Dev.
Present.
Here.
Mike. In this video, we're going to be listening to 2 versions of Kashmir. One's a bootleg. Ooh, from LA, June 21st, 1977. The Listen to This Eddie concert, if people who know bootlegs.
Listen to This Eddie?
Yeah, it has to do with...
That's like a concert, like that's a concert name?
They give them little cute names.
Oh, I see, because it's a bootleg.
So you know which one they're talking
Which
about.
bootleg they're talking about. All right.
Yeah, and then we're also going to be watching the 40th anniversary of Atlantic Records when Led Zeppelin did a reunion. And I remember that moment in my life. I do. They had a reunion for Live Aid, and it wasn't that great. So then they did another reunion a few years later at the Atlantic 40th anniversary, and it was a much better performance. That was... People were like, oh my God. I remember
still
that.
Got it.
I haven't seen it since it aired. About 35 years ago. This is the first time listening to a bootleg on YouTube. We did do some bootlegging,
Some bootlegging
on Patreon before with Zeppelin. But this is the first time we're doing it on YouTube.
We got a long way to go.
I don't know why she's singing
Time to get there. Bootleg. Y'all know how to... You know what that movie is, right?
Smokey and the Bandit?
Yes.
Kashmir from LA, June 21st, 1977. Yeah, that's Black Mountainside there. They were using this to introduce Kashmir back then.
Fun. That was sneaky.
Sounds decent for a bootleg. The vocals are a touch quiet. But hey, what do you want for a bootleg? They always do that in concert. This song has a slow tempo. It is not to be rushed. I hear that choral or phasing effect on the drums. No orchestra, of course. That's going to be keyboard only. Yeah. tad more fancy on the drums than the studio version, but not much. It's hard to hear the synthesizer. I can hear it, but it's pretty quiet. The reverb adds to the power of his voice. I wish I could see it. His voice is fun on this one. The drums are going crazy. Time to get a little frantic. Fancy guitar flaring there.
What the hell?
extra flamboyance.
Interesting. I could only whistle with my fingers.
I think people knew what it was called, Robert.
He's a professional.
I know.
At first, I was like, what kind of... I mean, bootleg is right.
Well, yeah, you're going for the performance. As long as the recording quality is good enough that you can hear it. You know, some of the bootlegs sound so bad that they're not... To me, I can't listen to them. Like, that one is good enough that at least I can listen to it and appreciate the performance.
I definitely appreciated all of that, all the above. It wasn't until halfway through when you're really like thinking of like, this is, I'm never going to see him in concert. So this is as close as I'm going to get to actually feeling like being in the concert versus just, you know, hanging out, listening to an album.
I think this is a mixture of soundboard and audience recording. I always love when they do that Kashmir live. They always go like, they give like little syncopated hits and stuff, which I think are cool. I think the phasing they put, the phasing effect or the choral effect, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know if you notice it. Can you tell it's sort of like phasing in and out?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that hurts this like amateur recording stuff. So this song in particular might suffer a little bit extra from these bootlegs because they have that extra effect. And now we're going to jump forward 11 years to 1988.
See how the song has wizened in their blood?
The second technical Led Zeppelin reunion ever. The first was at Live Aid, and then this one.
They do any after?
Yeah, they showed up occasionally.
Good for them. You know, I hate it when you're sort of like with those bands who like they can't be bothered.
I'm not sure where this took place. If I can figure that out, maybe I'll put it on the screen. Like, where physically was this? Was this in New York? I'm putting it on the screen now. A bunch of bands played, but Led Zeppelin was obviously probably the highlight of the evening.
Got that 80s hair, man. Rocking that 80s hair. Oh yeah, man.
Just to hear them play this song after 10 years. They didn't do this song at Live Aid.
The cigarette in his mouth?
Yeah.
Man, the 80s fucked up a lot of people.
He's got his 80s look, though. Jason Bonham is playing the drums.
That's nice. I'm happy for him.
Are they going to show John Paul Jones at all? See if we can catch a glimpse of him. I saw Jonesy. See that weird phasing effect is that they always do that for this song. Nope. Technical difficulties.
Really?
They'll fix it. There you go. Live TV.
Goes to show how spoiled we've become.
Okay, Valiant screen. What was that? He was attacked by his mic stand. For 1988, this is bleeping cool.
When I'm out, baby. Ooh, yeah. When I'm on my way, yeah. When I see darling. Ooh. When I see the way you say, yeah. Try to stop, baby. Oh, try to find where I've been. Oh, somebody please, please.
How sweet 'tis.
Oh, my baby. Ooh.
They're definitely playing it at a faster tempo, though, for this performance. Jason's got to be in his early 20s there, I guess.
How old is he there?
I would say Plant was probably in his early 40s, and Page and
Oh shit, really?
John Paul
I just
Jones
went
were
to
probably
50s.
mid 40s.
Why do I think that they're much older than they are? Probably because they are symbols in my imagination that are, you know, like if you hear Beethoven or Bach, one of those, you don't, you think of them as this otherworldly self in an otherworldly time. They're almost in a fantasy land that's never really quite real to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I put Led Zeppelin in that.
Well, I wonder how many of you remember seeing that, because that was a big deal. They hadn't performed that particular song in 10 years, because they didn't do that one at Live Aid. They played it, I don't know if you noticed, but it seemed like a faster tempo to me, that particular performance. A little bit faster than they usually play it.
Weird. I thought the earlier one was just longer, not slower.
Well, it was longer, but I think it was because the tempo was slower. That might not be the only reason.
Well, this one I didn't get nearly as much of the orchestral harmonics.
I think they just used keyboard, and you didn't hear it that much.
Well, that would be why.
Well, the one we're going to do on
One of
Patreon
those.
has an orchestra. That's the unleaded concert.
A biggie? Like a big fat orchestra?
I don't know how fat it is.
Full-
We'll see.
Orchestra?
I don't remember. We're going to see.
Okay.
That was the conclusion of the YouTube portion of our Kashmir-a-thon. I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, if you didn't see part 1, check out that video. The link is in the description. And probably at the end of this video, a link will pop up, I would imagine.
Poof. There it is.
No, at the end. I just want to say thank you to our patrons, and thank you to all of you who have shown us support over this brief time that we've been here. If you haven't checked out our Patreon, the link is in the description, and it's probably on the screen right now.
Come pop over.
Pop over for extra videos and other things and fun. And like I said, extra performances that we can't do on YouTube, like Led Zeppelin Unleaded. And we also want to thank our subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, we would appreciate it if you could, because it will really help us out. And that's all I'm going to say about it. And I'm just going to make a face to plead with you to please do it.
You're a lovely, busy tribe, and we appreciate you. And if nobody's told you today, thank you. Just thank you. Just that's all. It doesn't need to come with something else. Just thank you.
And the likes and comments are greatly appreciated as well. Next on the agenda will be side 3 of Physical Graffiti. So we are halfway through Physical Graffiti.
I'm going to have 3 sides.
Because it's a double album, honey.
Oh.
She forgot.
Hey, what if music
CDs
was
never had
its own dimension? Music is in itself, traveling like as a wave that can traverse multiple dimensions.
Oh, we're going to do...
I want to know that, like, one of the dimensions out there has got to be solely the property of music, and it can travel time and space.
On that note, take care, all.
Happy wishful thinking.
Take care, and we'll see you soon. Love you.